Well, back in my day, we didn't have any fancy red armors. It was either white or it was black. And I always threw up when I got in a TIE fighter, so here I am, out here freezing my ass off all the time. Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today we're taking a look at the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Star Wars Episode 9 Sith Trooper Early Edition. Now, I was fortunate enough to grab this at San Diego Comic-Con. Well, I say me. Veebs actually got in line and grabbed it for me because I got lost. This will be available on Hasbro Pulse on September 10th. Is that around the Force Friday stuff? I don't remember. Notice I said early edition. This trooper is packed out with a lot of weapons, the elaborate packaging because it is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, but the trooper itself is going to be available in the main line further down the road. So this isn't your only chance at the trooper itself, just some of the weapons it comes with. Kind of like the First Order trooper we saw a couple years ago. Like I said, elaborate, fancy packaging because it is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. You have the front, the Sith trooper down here looking a little bit, intimidating. An embossed Star Wars logo that's a little bit right there. I like how the trooper travels on around the corner. On the back, just red. Embossed right here is just some lines for whatever reason. Over on the other side, absolutely nothing. But you take the slip cover off, you get kind of that same design on the box itself. The side, a deeper red. Oh, well, here's the actual trooper. I was like, oh, where'd it go? This is actually the front. You see the trooper, there's no kind of window, no kind of clear plastic. He's just held in there with the bands. You'll notice these pull tabs right here, and this is actually a Sith Trooper twin bed with drawers underneath. How many of y'all slept on those when you were a kid? But the drawers pull out to reveal the weapons it comes with. There's some kind of rifle, there's some kind of blaster, there's some kind of Jaws of Life. Then on the other side is the heavy blaster we saw with the First Order trooper, and then some kind of sword or something. Is that Snake Eyes' sword? So very nifty if you want to display it like this with the thing, and then it's kind of like Punisher War Journal. Oh, I've got to bring out all the weapons to fight my war on the Jedi. But this is the Fwoosh, baby. We take stuff out of packaging, no matter how nice it looks. And it should just boom. And then as far as the weapons go, they're just kind of in their own little trays that are made specifically for them. So they hold in there tight, in case you want to put them back, maybe, I guess, to store them under the twin bed. Although it's not the easiest thing in the world. Ooh, that one looks like it's in there tight. It has a tab in front of it. Oh, wow, look at that. We'll get to that. Hold on. I feel like I'm playing Operation here. And looking at the figure itself, it's very, very interesting. I didn't know anything about a Sith Trooper before this was revealed, and I'm curious. I want to see what happens in the movie. A lot of people are like, he'll only appear for 10 seconds, but to me, it's a trooper. I love troopers. I love armor. It's visually interesting. I dig it. I can't help thinking Death Trooper, though, as I look at this. This is kind of like in between a First Order Stormtrooper and a Death Trooper, but this is coming later in the series, so I'm not sure what's going on here. You can see the sculpted texture to the armor right here. It's just little lines, and that just breaks up the smoothness of the armor. Again, a contrast to the overall smoothness of a First Order Trooper. The lines running down the middle, the segmented section on the abs, again calling back to classic Stormtrooper armor. Low belt, the pouches on it, back here. I can never remember if this is a detonator of some kind or what, but again, classic callback. The legs follow that same design. You have some smooth, and then you have some textured. It breaks up the overall, especially how the light dances on it. It reflects oddly in some places, but it makes it visually stimulating. Have I been watching too many food review shows? Oh, the tastes here are stimulating to the taste buds. Some extra detail running down the side of the legs. Well, not this side, I guess just this side. This ankle piece adds some thickness down here, making the boot look like it's integrated into the overall body better than usual, than a big joint sticking out. You have a shoulder pad. I don't know what this little thing is up on top right there. It's on the picture. I noticed it. It's like something new. Is that a flashlight for whenever I think the Sith Troopers go out in the dark, maybe? I don't know. You also get some extra detail to this side because on this side, you just run into those little segmented lines again. I do like these little black punch-in things right here, right here, right here, right here. It just kind of breaks up the red a little bit. What could be, well, besides the black undersuit, it could be just a big red armor. But little black tidbits here and there just help, I don't know, tie it all together. Same with the forearm, smoothness, lines, breaking of textures. Over here, you have extra stuff. There's just a lot going on the right side here while the left is just a trooper. I guess if you're left-handed in the Empire, you're shit out of luck. Or maybe this is just a right-handed Sith trooper. Who knows? The back, you have your gas gauge, you have your air vents, you have that same break of texture all the way down the back. It follows all the way around, all the way through. I joke about the gauge right here, but it's odd that these two holes are here, which we're used to seeing First Order troopers in general. But this is asymmetrical, kicking over to this side. It's an interesting design choice. But I guess thinking about it, the whole... Oh, that's part of the belt. It actually moves around. But the whole thing's a little bit asymmetrical once you start really digging into it. And thinking about that, coming back around, the knee pads are actually different, like classic Stormtroopers, I guess, if you want to kneel down and fire. That helps protect your knees a little bit, while this side, not so much. First Order troopers were symmetrical on both sides. But if you want to talk symmetrical, looking at the helmet, it looks, well, fairly the same on both sides. But again, you have the smoothness running down the middle. You have that texture running on the sides, and that carries down under the lenses too. And then as far as the black goes, very First Order inspired here, but the lens going across the middle, it kind of gets that Boba Fett cut going down. I don't know if that's actual lens coming all the way down. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's an interesting evolution from the First Order helmet. And then nothing different happening as you go around to the back of the helmet, just a continuation of those designs coming around. The figure's divine. Going over articulation, it's utilizing the new ball joint at the top of the neck, ball joint at the bottom of the neck, but for some reason, it doesn't want to move. I don't know if mine is stuck or what is going on here. I can get it to look down fairly well for a trooper, but as I try to go up, it just wants to pop back down to neutral position. And those new joints are a pain in the ass to try to pop. I maybe heat it. And I have tilt movement, but again, it wants to return to neutral as I let go of it. But it swivels. The shoulder joint has a butterfly joint nicely hidden within all the armor. It goes forward and then back. The shoulder pad is attached down here at the bottom, and it is a softer material, so it flexes out. You can bring the arm up. That just rides up over the torso, works perfectly. Swivels around. Hinge and swivel at the elbow, but you'll notice the cut comes down to here. Whenever you flex it, it goes past 90. It doesn't come all the way up, but it works a hell of a lot better than the First Order troopers. Then you get swivel. Trigger finger hand means, oh, up and down, hinge. Swivel. Ball joint mid-torso can crunch forward, can arc back. Very nice tilt side to side, and then that rotates. Ball coming out to the hip comes, ooh, all the way up. Actually, nice back. Out, better than some Marvel Legends I've looked at. Swivel at the thigh, nicely hidden within the armor piece there. The knees, this is what interested me most whenever we started getting promotional pictures of this. You could see the pins for a double knee joint, but the thigh armor comes down and hides the knee. And you bring it back, and you bring it up, and he can kick his own trooper ass. Ankle may be a little bit hindered because of this armor piece coming down over it, but you do get hinge back, you do get a little forward, and then a nice forward-facing pin for rocker. With the trigger finger hand, it is easy enough to get the weapons in. He comes with this blaster, matches the color scheme of the trooper itself very nicely, the red and the black, while also punching in a little bit of silver there. Nice sculpt all the way around. I don't know if we've seen this. I like the holes here on the barrel. It's a new trooper, new gun. I'm happy. But it doesn't stop there, because he also gets this rifle top gun with the stock sticking out the back. Again, red, black, a little bit of silver. I like the shape of this one too. This one's more like tactical, I guess. Big heavy duty gun is a little bit harder to get in his hand. In fact, he holds it a little bit awkward. Let's see if I can get this a little bit better. The one time I wish the hinge on the wrist was side to side would be this big ass gun, because that grip is behind this big chunk of plastic right here, so it's hard to get his wrist around and in. You have this separate piece hose or whatever it is. It's a big honking gun. This, I'm not sure what it is. We saw some crazy weapons in The Last Jedi where the executioners had a caliper looking thing with electricity running on it. This is an actual clamp. It has working hinges. As you spread them apart, it kind of simulates a piston right there, but it's actually that plastic piece going up into it. It fakes it really well though, for reaching in and grabbing his car keys whenever he drops them down the grate or something. I don't know. Then there's also this thing. It looks like there's a grip here. It looks like there may be a grip here. Can you put it in his hand like this? That kind of works. Well, that would be a backwards sword, wouldn't it? It'd have to be on this side. The grip makes me think he holds it this way, but is this for whenever he dishonors his family or something? What's going on? Grip it the other way, and it kind of just droops down. Is this for this? But again, it's red, it's black, it's got some silver in it. It matches the overall color scheme really well. Okay, coming back around, it took me probably longer than it should have for me to figure out with the handles or the grips angled this way, these are gonna go like this. That makes more sense. It angles forward. Yeah, there's no trigger or anything, but if this is the blade part, it's more like a chop, 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 chop. One thing I noticed after posing it around, it's a little bit hard to get straight up and down. The torso wants to kick back over to kind of his left. And I don't know if it's that or the shoulders are actually cockeyed where the right is higher than the left. So there's something going on here. But the Sith Trooper stands at about 6 1/16 inches tall. Here it is with the Bandai model kit and the Star Wars Black Series First Order Riot Troopers. A little bit thinner, and I noticed at the Star Wars display in San Diego that the Sith Trooper looked shorter than all the other armors. But this one, about the same size as the Black Series. Here it is with the SH Figure Arts First Order Heavy Trooper, and yes, there's that gun again, and the Executioner. With its crazy, hey, you want to go mountain climbing? Even though I've bought 5 or 6 Black Series Kylo Rens, I can't seem to find any now, but here is the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Luke and Rey from The Last Jedi. Here's the SH Figure Arts Last Jedi Kylo and Rey. Here's the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Original Trilogy Stormtrooper, and then, is this Inferno Trooper, Lava Trooper? What do they call this thing now? Here's the Black Series Death Trooper and Scarab Trooper, and like I said, a lot of this calls back to the Death Trooper. I think there's similar kind of aesthetics there, except when it comes to height. And then to go back even further, here is the Bandai Model Kit Phase 1 Clone Trooper and the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Phase 2 Clone Trooper. Ooh, and then because of the added elbow range, the wrists, and then the butterfly shoulders, you can get this one in a two-handed blaster pose. That's, yeah, much better. So at the end of the day, you could say it's just another Star Wars trooper, but to me, it's another dang Star Wars trooper. I usually try to stay spoiler-free before a movie comes out, especially Star Wars, so I don't know anything about this. Why is it called a Sith Trooper? Why is it red? Why did designs change? Are they just trying to sell more toys? Yes, they are. But that's okay, because I like toys. I'm a complete sucker for that. I dig how this looks like an evolved First Order trooper. There's a lot more visually interesting elements integrated into the body here. Plus, it's a different color for the shelf. When the prequel trilogy came out, we had blacks and we had whites, and that's it. A very drab, well, in fact, that calls back to the original trilogy, doesn't it? I like the figure. The neck is a little bit hindered, but the rest of it is pretty sweet when it comes to posing and getting into different situations. Now, like I mentioned, at the Star Wars booth in San Diego, they had life-size armors all lined up, and the Sith Trooper was a little bit shorter than the rest, which, is that another callback to the original trilogy? Matt, who provided a lot of these pictures at the end here, he was standing beside me and he looked up and he said, oh, well, what if they're all clones of Luke? Where did Luke's hand go? And I was like, God dang, you just ruined the movie for me, didn't you? It's a fun little thing. I don't know. Again, trying to stay spoiler free. I'm just happy to have a red trooper to break up all my First Order stuff. So if you want this and all the different weapons and stuff, be on Hasbro Pulse on September 10th and try to get it there. But if you don't care about the weapons, don't worry about F5 and the hell out of Pulse. Just wait for it to show up in the main series that's going to be, well, hopefully at all our local stores. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.